Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew this beautiful maxi gathered wrap dress with very easy steps that are very beginner friendly. If you'd love to watch more sewing and pattern drafting videos from me, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss out when I post a new video. I post new sewing and pattern drafting videos every single week. To make my dress, I'm going to be using this beautiful African printed Ankara fabric. This is cotton fabric. And also I'm going to be using my bodice block pattern to make the top part of the dress. I'll be making the pattern using this bodice block. And also I'll be using my plain lining, cotton lining. So what I'm going to do first is I'll start by making the top part of the dress, and I'll make the pattern using this plain pattern paper. Then I'll trace it onto my fabric. So to achieve the pattern, I'll use my bodice block, which I'm going to trace right here. And as you can see, I have my 4.5 inches written there. So this is how I found the 4.5 inches. I got my waist measurement divided by 2. So my waist measurement divided by 2 gave me 4.5 inches. This is the 4.5 inches you have to put right there. So after putting that 4.5, I'll trace my bodice block right on this plain paper. Then after tracing the bodice block, I am going to transform this bodice block into a wrap overlap pattern. So to make the overlap pattern for the top, I am going to connect this 4.5 this side with my ruler, the corner of the 4.5 to my neck width, this part here. I'll connect it to my neck width right there with my ruler. I'm just going to connect straight. So I've just connected and I'm going to cut it out. For those of you that want a full bodice block pattern, I'll link it in the description down below. So now I'm just going to cut out this and finally have formed my overlap top pattern. So I'll just get my pair of scissors and cut it out. So I've just cut it out. I've removed the unwanted parts. I only work with this other part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this on my fabric and make my top overlap. So this is the fabric for the front. It's folded in the middle, as you can see. And also I'm going to make for the back piece. So for the front, I'm just going to, as you can see here, I'm just going to get my pattern paper that I have drafted. I'm going to place it on top and trace it out so that I can make 2 pieces for the front. So I'm just going to trace around and cut with my pair of scissors. So I've just finished tracing the pattern onto the fabric, and this is how my front pieces look. So they are going to overlap onto each other, as you can see. This is for the front. So next I'm going to make the back piece, and the back piece is not going to have an overlap. I'll just trace my basic bodice block onto the back piece. So this is the back where I traced my basic bodice block without transforming it. So this is just a regular bodice, and it's not going to have a zip allowance. As you can see, the zip is going to be put on the sides. This side is where I'll put the zipper. So next I'm going to trace the front piece onto the lining and make the lining for the front. So note that for this pattern, I'm just going to have the lining for the front. I'm not going to have the lining on the back. After cutting the lining and the fabric for the top part of the dress, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and gather the skirt, which is going to be the bottom part of the dress, and I'll show you how to do just that with very easy steps right next. So to make my gathered skirt, I'm going to be using my waist circumference multiplied by 3. So my waist circumference is 30 inches. 30 times 3 is going to give me 90 inches. 90 inches will be the circumference of the waist on this skirt. Then for the depth of the skirt, how long I want my skirt to be, I'm going to get the measurement of my waist to ankle. So I'll place the measuring tape on my waist down to my ankle, and that distance is what I'm going to put as the depth of my skirt, or how long I want this to be. So I'm just going to place that measurement right here. Then I'm also going to add hemming allowance and sewing or joining allowance, because I'm going to join these skirts to the top part so that we can form the dress. So this is my full length of the skirt or dress. Then next I'm going to start gathering the fabric. Remember I said 30 centimeters of my waist multiplied by 3. So I'll get my hand sewing needle. This is the needle I'm going to use, and I'm going to start running a straight stitch all around. I'm going to run this straight stitch all around this 9-inch of my waist. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to start stitching, as you can see, and once I finish running all around it, I'm now going to show you how to gather it. So next I'll just start pulling the strings of the fabric. As you can see, the stitch that I had run, I'm going to start pulling and gathering. So this is how you pull and gather your stitches. I'm just going to start pulling and gathering and reducing the 90 inches back to my 30 inches. So remember I said this is 90 inches. I'm going to pull and make gathers, then reduce them to my original 30 inches of my waist circumference. So I'm just going to do it by my hand, as you can see. Then next I'm going to get the measuring tape and measure to see whether it has reached my original waist circumference. So this is how you easily gather fabric, guys. It's very easy and nothing difficult about it. So I'm just going to make sure this is 30 inches, which is my original waist circumference, and also I'll leave 2 inches of seam zip allowance and joining, because this is where the zipper is going to go down for joining also. Since I have finished cutting the lining, I'm now going to sew by placing the right side of the fabric on top of the lining. As you can see, this is the right side. I'm going to sew from the wrong side. On my sewing machine, I'll sew all around. As you can see where I'm pointing with my finger, I'm going to sew on this side, and also the other side I'm going to stitch with a straight stitch on my sewing machine. Then once I finish stitching, I'm going to turn it inside out. As you can see, I've turned it inside out. This is now this is the wrong side for the dress, and the one with the fabric is the right side. It has been turned inside out and I gave it a good press. Then next I'm going to join these two, the back side. This is the back side, this is the back piece, and as you can see, the back piece has no lining. This is how I wanted my design to be, with no lining on the back. So I'll place the front right side facing the right side of the back like that. Then I'm going to give it a good press and sew. I'll sew on the shoulder seams. I'll connect the shoulders together with my sewing machine. Then after sewing, this is how it's going to look like. So I just finished sewing. As you can see, this is the right side, the front and back. And the back, since the back has no lining, the edges of the neckline needs to be finished. So I'm just going to do a bias finish on my neckline for the back, and also on the armhole for the back. I'll just put bias binding. Then the front is nicely finished. There's no need for the bias. So the next thing I'm going to do after putting the bias, I'm going to sew the sides together. I'll only sew one side. The other side is going to have a zipper. So this is the side that will have the zipper and it will not need to be sewn. So I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine. I will make sure the right sides face each other, then sew from the wrong side. Then after sewing, I'm going to get my skirt and connect it, join it to the top part of the dress, as you can see. So I've just joined the top part and the bottom part of the dress together, and this is how beautiful it looks. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe for more sewing and pattern drafting videos that I post every single week. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. Bye.